All right, let's talk about something we all have to do: survive human interaction. Today, we're diving into a tactical guide for not just surviving, but actually getting people to listen to you by, well, tricking them into liking you. And it starts with not being so insufferably perfect all the time. And this quote right here, this is where we begin. Because it gets right to the heart of this huge mistake that so many of us make. We think that if we just show everyone how flawless we are, they'll admire us. But as we're about to find out, it usually does the exact opposite. So let's just get right to it and diagnose the issue. The single biggest problem in the stories we tell about ourselves isn't that they're boring. Nope. It's that they are too perfect. And that perfection, it's actually a fatal flaw.
We've all seen this. Maybe we've even done it. It's what I call the perfect hero syndrome. You know the story. I saw a problem, I crushed it, the end. It's the narrative where you're the flawless hero who never stumbles, never messes up, never fails. It sounds absolutely fantastic in your head, right? But to everyone else, not so much.
And here's the cold, hard truth of it. When you tell that perfect story, people aren't inspired. They're not leaning in. They're just waiting for you to finish so they can go back to thinking about their own messy, complicated, and beautifully flawed lives. Just look at this gap between what you think you're doing and what's actually happening. You think you're impressing people, but what they're hearing is, this person is probably lying. You think you're showing how competent you are, but you're actually just boring them to tears. And that big attempt to inspire, yeah, it's more likely making them feel terrible about their own lives. So if playing the perfect hero is basically a social dead end, then what's the alternative? We need a completely new playbook. So let's call it the Flaw-First narrative. Okay, this is the core of the whole thing, and it feels completely backward at first. If you want to build a real connection, something that isn't made of cardboard, you don't start with the winning. You have to lead with your own little disaster, your own moment of pathetic humanity. And the mechanic is beautifully simple. It's just a two-step cheat code. First, the flaw. You start with a moment where you were just clumsy, confused, a total mess. Then, the pivot. You explain how that specific moment of humiliation somehow, almost accidentally, led to a good thing. It's not about hiding your flaws, it's about weaponizing them. But why? Why does this even work? Why on earth are we more drawn to failure than we are to perfection? Well, the psychology behind it is shockingly simple. And it pretty much all comes down to the fact that we're all just taller children. I mean, think about it like this. If you tell a 5-year-old you're a superhero who never, ever falls down, they're going to be suspicious. But if you tell them you tripped over your own feet and accidentally found a giant chocolate bar, you just became their best friend for life. The exact same logic applies to adults. A flawless hero is unrelatable. But a clumsy one who stumbles into success, that's someone we can all root for. This analogy just nails it. A perfect story is like a funeral suit. It's stiff, it's formal, it's totally perfect, and it's just for show. But a flawed story, that's like your favorite pair of sweatpants. Yeah, they might be a little depressing, but they're comfortable, they're real, and they let everyone around you finally breathe. So what does this look like out in the real world? Well, instead of saying, I closed the big deal, try this. So I spent the first 10 minutes of the meeting pitching my heart out to a potted plant I thought was the client. That moment of humanity, that's what wins them over. And it works socially, too. The miserable failure at parallel parking makes the story of meeting someone amazing feel so much more earned and relatable. Okay, so the theory is powerful. We get it. And honestly, it's kind of a relief. But how do you actually start doing this without feeling like a total weirdo? Let's break down the practical steps. Here's our mission, should you choose to accept it. 3 ways to implement this strategy before, the inevitable void consumes us all. We've got 3 different levels of difficulty to get you started. You can start small on easy mode, just this simple text. You brag about a win, but you add a little disclaimer about the embarrassing thing that happened right before. Then you can level up to medium mode, at work. Start your next update by admitting a dumb rookie mistake you made. It just lowers everyone's guard. And finally, challenge mode. Take one of those perfect success photos and describe the messy, ugly reality that's sitting just outside the frame. So after all of this, what's the one crucial, cynical point you need to take away with you? And that's really it. Your perfection is boring. It's alienating. Your failures, your screw-ups, your clumsy moments, those are your greatest tools for connection. So the only question left is the one you see right here. What pathetic failure will you lead with next?